the technology of the future. I have with me Uttarakhand Governor, Lt Colonel Gurmit Singh ji. Sir, up military leadership you have been in, and what is the significance of this Indrajal according to you in today's global security environment?
In fact, I'm exceedingly happy that what we have seen the field trial today of autonomous drone defense dome. In fact, this gives us the solution against the threat of the drone. And the drone threat is something which is very real in the entire world. We have seen how Israel, Iran, how Ukraine, Russia, how we have had this Pakistan also at times using these drones against us. You would recall 27th June 2021 Jammu airport. Since then there has been a desire to have solution against the drones. किया गया है. And this is available for the entire nation. In fact, इसको बनाने की जो भावना थी वो भारत की रक्षा के लिए थी. इसमें इसका जो यूज़ है किस प्रकार किया जाए ये मिलिट्री, प्राइवेट, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और बाकी चुनौतियों के लिए भी किया जा सकता है. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और ड्रोन दोनों को मिलाकर न जाने कितने समाधान निकल सकते हैं. लेकिन सबसे पहला जो हमारे दिल में एक इच्छा थी कि हम किस प्रकार ड्रोन्स की थ्रेट को देख सकें, चाहे वो ड्रोन किसी भी रूप में हो, चाहे वो नैनो ड्रोन है, माइक्रो है, जब बड़े पैमाने के हैं, उनका क्या समाधान है, किस प्रकार से उसको न्यूट्रलाइज किया जा सकता है, चाहे वो सॉफ्ट पावर के तरीके से जहाँ हार्ड सोल्यूशन से किया जा सकता है. आज उसको देखता है और वी आर लुकिंग आउट फॉर दिस टेक्नोलॉजी दिस इज अवेलेबल एंड डेफिनेटली आई एम श्योर, आई एम एब्सोल्युटली श्योर अबाउट इट कि इसको अपने सिस्टम्स के अंदर में अडॉप्ट किया जाएगा.
Demonstration of Indrajal, the magic woven by Lord Indra. I have with me the founder of Grene Robotics. Indrajal, what is it promising for the security defense system of the country?
It's promising the fact that today we can not just protect ourselves from the basic classification of drones, which are like the Phantom, which we think are the challenge, but we can go the entire spectrum from small to large drones, as well as the system can also focus on all environments like mountain, sea. So it's weapon and sensor agnostic. So it's able to deliver autonomy at a scale which has never been seen before in this industry.
Okay, who is going to be using this? One, of course, very obviously the military establishment. Are you saying that vital installations, VIP security, crowd control, monuments, everything can be covered and cities can actually opt for this as a solution for this kind of an attack?
So I think this is a very nascent stage in the industry. Primary use right now would be defense. Secondary would be critical infrastructure by the governments, because economic, especially oil refineries, rigs, nuclear power plants, airports, critical infrastructure is a secondary most important use case. Third is embassies, because and I think eventually wherever there is a wall, you're trying to protect something from people coming in, you pretty much have to protect the airspace. So I think if you look at a long-term vision of this, pretty much the entire space of an urban area will have to be covered by counter-drone systems.
Okay, what about cost itself? Something like this, obviously in defense technology, expenses is something that we are very worried about, but the defense is something even bigger, a concern, and therefore people are willing to pay. How does this fit in?
So it's very, I think this comes at a unique juncture as a security system. So typically if I'm building a secretariat or new secretariat in Telangana, I must spend like 200-300 crores on it. This system would cost about 5 crores. So it is part of your typical capital infrastructure cost to protect what you're building, and it will become like a data centers. For example, data centers, how they a level 4 data center would have fire protection, they need drone protection. So it's part of their capital infrastructure that they'll plug it in.
So what is the unique thing that you're doing here? Because as I see it, you've integrated the entire system to tell it's almost end to end, should I say. You're not even what you called as a spider mesh is something that provides you that layer of security that you don't use the usual networks of 5G and 4G.
Absolutely. I think it's a defense grade system. Like I said, the primary market is defense. So everything that we use has to be standalone. Literally like how we would call it no cloud systems, right? It's not a cloud system. It is standalone and it is able to build a network that is away from consumer or business used networks. So nobody other than who is protecting the country will be using the network that's built by Spider Mesh. So while instead of again going back into 4G and 5G, you leapfrog the technology and go into mesh technologies, like how India leapfrogged into 4G when every world is on 2G. That is just a leapfrog that we will implement for this system.
You're also talking about a very wide area that you're able to cover. How is that possible?
Because the reality is the need is wide area, so we should be able to centrally monitor drones. For example, for an entire border of 100-kilometer stretch, there's one base they needs to monitor it, right? You cannot have trucks and depend on people to monitor it every 5 kilometers. Being Spider Mesh helps to bring that data to a central location, and our AI helps in monitoring it. And I never understood seeing 500 screens. To me, I'm like, what are we really watching, right? So the AI is the one that watches, right? And it's only it's alerting. It should be like, okay, after I've learned that this is a threat, it's a proactive system, right? It was a reactive system. I think most security systems today, especially CCTV, is a reactive system. After something happens, I'll go back and look at what happened, right? But this is a proactive system. It has to detect it way ahead in time. I have a window of 2 minutes before damage happens. So it's a proactive system.
Okay. As I understand it, AI is obviously going to be the biggest tool in the hands of mischief makers or people more dangerous than just mischief. How are we looking at it vis-a-vis China or the borders there? And second, on this side, if we talk about drones that are always reported as bringing in drugs, how does this kind of a system help?
It is absolutely necessary first to understand the traffic control across it. And also, second most important, I think in 1 year you will see that we'll have more friendly drones also flying in the same area. So we will have to understand which is friend versus foe, and once the foe is identified, the counter drone systems are crucial, because we are like, I cannot always deploy a weapon. Most of the time I should follow, or I should monitor, or I should just be close enough to take an action if required, right? In I would say 70% of cases that's the only requirement. It's only 30% of cases we'll actually deploy a weapon to destroy the threat. So it's an evolving process. I would say counter drone is a key measure, and in that space we are the only company in India, and probably in the world there are about 3-4 companies that do this to counter drone as a measure.
And you have been humble enough to say that AI is something that's a growing field, evolving, and therefore hackable at every stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you really see the speeches, I think we understand that the fight is going to be between AI and AI, right? It's not really going to be AI and humans. So we have to be we are progressive enough to keep building as much as good AI required to fight the bad AI in some sense. So it's good and bad everywhere, right?
Okay, thank you so much, Kiran. So technology ready, now it's for the country, whether it's the military, whether it's the public installations, or even crowd control or VIP security, that is going to find this as a huge weapon in their hands to be able to safeguard and predict where trouble could be coming from. In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagaraju, Sudhir, NDTV.